During college final year, a friend of mine, Rakesh, he suggested to check out dark web and a French website where we can earn by betting. I know what you're thinking, and I thought of that too. A French gambling website sounds trustworthy. However, Rakesh swore to me that the site was legitimate and it only used PayPal as a payment method, so my mind was somewhat put at ease. One Sunday, I was bored and decided to finally give it a shot. I was put off by the bad English used on the welcome page, but hey, registration was painless and it only took few minutes before I was in the roulette lobby. I only had $100 in my PayPal account, which I earned online, so I bought $100 worth of virtual chips. The website offered 3 rooms where I could play, but they were all full. I kept refreshing the page, but spaces weren't opening. I was losing my patience, so I decided I'd refresh one more time, and if it was full, I'm gonna bounce out. Hey, if they don't want my money, someone else would gladly take it. I hit the refresh button and something changed. The whole layout of the page was suddenly completely different. The original unappealing brownish page was now all black, but more notably, there was only one link on it, a link to a virtual room named Aeriel. When you translate it in English, it means wanderer. I found this really strange. I thought that I might have clicked on one of those annoying banner ads, so I clicked the back button, but nothing changed. But whatever, man, I already said goodbye to that $100, so let's try this thing. I clicked on the lobby, and after that, it was asking me if I was sure if I wanted to enter. I found this very strange. It was like they didn't want my money. Well, I click yes, and finally I'm in. I'm not sure if you guys ever played online roulette, but this is how it works. You are connected through a live webcam to some casino. You choose your numbers and place your bets and then watch the dealer spin the wheel in real time and see what you won. It's almost like being there. So the webcam loads and the first thing I notice is this girl. I swear, she could not have been older than 15 or 16 years old. She was short, skinny, and blonde. I immediately noticed that she looked tired. They're probably overworking her like a mule, I thought to myself. It seemed like her table was on some sort of platform because I could see the rest of the room behind her. There were approximately 5 card tables, all full. The place seemed to be awfully quiet. Then my desire to lose money kicked in and I decided to place my first bet. $5 on odd numbers. All bets are in, the girl said quietly as she spun the wheel. Usually, dealers yell out that line as part of the show. I guess these guys were all business. 16, she said. Damn, $95 left. I wrote down the number in my notebook because that was part of my system. Writing all the numbers down so I can predict the future. Brilliant, right? $10 on odd numbers. All bets are in. The little ball stopped at 12. God damn it. Oh well, still got $85 left. $20 on odd numbers. As she spun the wheel, I started noticing something strange in the room. 5, she muttered. Hell yes. I won $40. Maybe this place isn't so bad. I'll bet $10 on odd again. All bets are in, she said again. As the ball was slowing down, I looked more over to the background of the room. I was right a minute ago when I felt something strange. Nobody in the room was moving. At all. 1, she said. While I was excited about my account balance going up, I couldn't help but feel weird about the situation. I mean, nobody was doing even so much as moving a finger. 5 tables with 6 people plus a dealer at each of them. Even the waitress in the back holding the tray of drinks on it. They all stood and sat still. I tried rationalizing it by assuming that the website had added a still picture background behind the dealer for the effect of the real casino. But man, this place seemed way too realistic to only be a picture. My timer started beeping and I had to make another bet. $20 on odd, she said. As the girl spun the thing, I kept studying her background. I became intrigued by the strange situation that was going on behind her. I mean, there was no way this was a Photoshop picture. They just weren't moving. 19. Yes, I won another $40. Hey, if I keep on winning, these dudes don't ever have to move as far as I am concerned. $20 on odd. I decided to start paying attention to the girl a little bit more. What else was there to do? It's not like anyone else was moving. As I said, she was young. She seemed tired and perhaps a little worried. At times, it seemed like she was looking directly at me, but I was sure I was just imagining things. I won another $40 more. I won't give you a play-by-play now, but I placed 4 more bets, winning 2 of them. I was sitting at nearly $200 at that point. But then, the curiosity started kicking in. These damn people still weren't moving and it wasn't a damn added Photoshop image either. Something wasn't right. I decided to keep playing so just I can watch these strange individuals. $40 on odd. I noticed a chat feature to the left of the webcam feed. I decided to type a quick hi to see if I'd get a response. As I started typing, I saw a man walk through the room. Told you, it wasn't a picture. He was dressed in a black coat with the collar popped up, so I couldn't make much of him. He was moving very slowly between the tables. He stopped by one of them, then he bent down and started looking at one of the men who sat there. Literally like in front of his face, an inch from it. The seated man didn't even do so much as flinch. I'm telling you, weird things, man. 13. My balance was now nearly $230, but I didn't care. I wanted to know what's going on here. I zoomed in on the man. The webcam feed wasn't HD, so I couldn't make details of the man's face, but I could tell one thing that disturbed me. The man was all in black and white. His skin color was visibly different than the still people around him. I could tell that even through a few pixel French camera offered. What the hell, I thought. The timer started beeping again. Hell to it, I placed $20 on odd. I zoomed in again. The black and white man stood up from staring at the motionless card player and walked over to the wall of the room. I'm not gonna lie when I say this, but he was licking the wall. He stood in front of the wall and just started licking it. His tongue seemed to be unnaturally long even over the low resolution camera. I'm not sure if it was his colorlessness, but the tongue appeared to be black. The wall had bright red wallpaper, which just enhanced this man's unnatural lack of color. Just as I was about to let an audible "what the hell is going on here," the dealer girl interrupted me. Almost as if she knew that I was going to break the silent atmosphere of the French casino from the Twilight Zone. 5! She yelled. I got startled a little and zoomed back out. I won again, but I didn't care. I was more focused on a man who appeared to be in black and white and licking the casino wall. Now, take a second and imagine being in this weird situation. You're sitting alone in your dark room, it's 2 in the morning, and you're casually gambling when you notice that nobody besides your dealer is moving in the casino. Then a man who appears to be colorless started walking through the place, staring at people and licking walls. I had to keep placing bets to stay in the lobby. $100 on odd. The man had stopped licking the wall and started moving again. He walked over to one of the dealers at the other table. He placed his arm on the dealer's shoulder, then I heard him say something. It sounded like, "C'est toi," if that makes any sense. As he said that, the dealer turned around. That was the first time someone had moved other than my dealer girl and the colorless person. "One!" yelled the girl. I swear, it seemed like she knew I wasn't paying attention to her and she wanted me to. I won again, but at that point, I didn't give a damn. The other dealer stared at the man with an utter horror on his face. He didn't say anything, just stared at him. The staring lasted about 30 seconds, I might say. I started typing a message in the chat box to write. I wrote, "Hey, what's happening over there?" The dealer girl didn't seem to react when I pressed send. Perhaps the chat option was just there for props. I don't know. 11. Somehow I kept winning, but money was secondary at that point. I needed to know what's going on. The dealer next to the man started shaking uncontrollably. Then he muttered something like, "None," to the man and collapsed, like just fell in front of him. The man didn't move, just looked down at the motionless body of the dealer. Nobody else in the room moved, not even my girl. I yelled, "What the hell?" at the computer, and that's when it all changed. Every man and woman in the room turned and looked at me. I swear to you, every single person looked at me straight. They didn't move, just looked towards me. The dealer girl seemed to be terrified beyond belief. She quickly pressed some kind of a button next to her table. The man without collar slowly turned in my direction. He started walking towards my table. I got the message in the chat box. "Run." I had shivers go down my spine a few times before, but never like this. I mean, I knew they couldn't get me through the screen, but the overall creepiness of the situation got the best of me. The man walked up to the webcam and started staring at me. There was no doubt. He was black and white. Now, I don't know how to rationalize that thing. A glitch? Poor camera? Video editing? I don't know, but I do know that he was the only one colorless at the screen. The rest of the people were still looking towards me as well. The man's eyes were open as wide as humanly possible. He seemed to be studying me. I was so scared, but I was mesmerized, unable to quit the game. He got closer to the camera, and all I could see now were his eyes, looking into me. Could he see me? I don't think so, and I hope not. But those eyes, man, those eyes. They seemed to be absolutely cruel and terrifyingly cold. They were also black and white like the rest of the men. When he moved back, I nearly fell out of my chair. All of the people from the casino were now standing behind the man. 30 plus people were staring at me, with their eyes open too wide. They weren't moving, and I have no idea how they got there so fast. The man looked up the screen for only a few seconds. The only one who didn't seem to belong there was the dealer girl. She seemed absolutely petrified. The man turned towards her, then looked back at me as well. It was almost as if he noticed that she was out of the place in the twilight room. He walked over and stopped behind her. She was shivering. One," she muttered, obviously terrified by the man behind her. He started putting his arms around her shoulders. I yelled and screamed at the screen. "What the hell are you people doing?" The man started smiling. I can't begin to explain to you how strange and surreal this experience was. A colorless man was looking at me, smiling while wrapping his arm around this girl. She looked at me. I could tell she knew that I was still watching. She seemed at peace, like she knew this was it. She finally said with little energy in her voice, Thank you for playing with us today, and don't forget your numbers." As she said that, the man's arms went up to her neck with unnatural and inhuman speed. At that moment, the lobby closed. I was back at the original brown roulette page. My account balance was $520. I sat there, completely stunned. I was sure I hallucinated, dreamt, something along those lines. This couldn't have been real. I mean, come on, man. Colorless dude walking through the motionless casino doing weird stuffs, and then looking at me through the camera? Still, I like to believe that I'm a sane person, and I know I wasn't imagining things. I know that thing did happen. I went to bed, and although I had troubles forgetting this impossible incident, I fell asleep. When I woke up yesterday morning, the casino was the first thing on my mind. My initial thought was to try to get back into that lobby. Later on that day, I thought maybe that it was just some sort of a prank. I went on with my day, but you know what? That damn thing stuck with me the whole time. I kept analyzing the situation and even tried talking to Rakesh about it. But you know what? He just laughed at me. I told him the whole story, and at the end of me trying to convince him that I wasn't lying, I remembered the girl's last words. And don't forget your numbers. That wasn't something dealers say to you at the end of the game. I went back to my notebook and looked at the numbers I got that night. At least I have written down most of the numbers from the night before. 16, 12, 5, 1, 19, 5, 8, 5, 12, 16, 13, 5. And the last numbers I was not able to write down because I was too focused on the damn horror on my screen. I spent a good few hours analyzing, trying to figure out a pattern. I had no luck. Once again, I decided that someone was just playing tricks with me or just pranking me. I let the whole thing go. Actually, who am I kidding? I didn't. I went back on the website and withdrew all of the money back to my PayPal account, just in case. Then I went on with my day. By this morning, I have all but forgotten about the freaking night at the French online casino. I had 2 classes today. In the second class, the lecturer was talking about some game where you have to decipher a puzzle. He gave it to the class to solve it. I'll be honest, I didn't do a thing. So finally, he called for someone to come out in front of the class and demonstrated how they solved it. A guy came out and started explaining all these principles he used. Again, I wasn't paying much attention, but one thing that he said did catch my ear. He mentioned numbers corresponding to letters. I knew that this was the solution. I went back home after college and opened my notebook. 16P, 12L, 5E, 1A, 19S, 5E. Please. 8H, 5E, 12L, 16P. Help. 13M, 5E. Me. Please help me. The young girl was trapped inside the horror casino and was begging for help, and I was so stupid to pay attention. Was this a prank? I don't know. A coincidence? Hardly. I didn't know what to do. I tried logging into the website again, but it was completely normal. There was no Hata lobby. I was and still am helpless. I spent hours leading up to me writing this, thinking and overanalyzing what could have happened. I googled every phrase that I could think of, but no luck. And then, just as I started writing this, I remembered the last 3 numbers. 1, 11, and 1. A, K, and A. The first 3 letters of my name. She would have probably gotten the other 2 letters or numbers if the situation didn't escalate. I felt sick. My knees suddenly became weak. This wasn't a coincidence. The worst thing is, they know my name.